Hello and welcome. My name is Major Tom 3D, and today I'm starting a new series regarding the mobile game app called Eve Echoes. Eve Echoes is a game that was developed by NetEase, and today it was my plan to be able to become your field commander, supporting my captains out in the universe of New Eden, providing tactics and tips in order to make the most of your game experience in the universe of New Eden. However, the developers of Eve Echoes, NetEase, has given us a golden opportunity to be able to get on a separate server, which is known as the test server, to try out the anticipated changes to 47 upcoming ships, and also changes that are balance changes that are going to be placed onto the live server in the month of May. And this is absolutely fantastic. I'm actually thrilled to be able to get my hands on some of the what are known as the Tech 9 and Tech 10 ships. Currently, these are the in-game ships that we can try out from now to this Wednesday, to be able to try out the new frigates, destroyers, cruisers, battle cruisers, and battleships. And there's a remarkable number of ships that are just going to add a lot to the game, particularly the command ships. And also, unfortunately, there are some changes that are really changing things up. And some of them are not as capable as we had hoped. Destroyers being the one class of ships that I think really needs to be addressed. I want to try to support our community and suggesting to NetEase that in order for this particular class of ships to have a purpose in the game, they really do need to be re-examined and reevaluated in order to become a worthwhile ship class in order to pilot. From what I'm seeing in May, there's practically no purpose to really get into the class, and I definitely want to add my voice saying that in the world of Eve, they really do have a defined purpose. But currently, as we're looking into the potential changes that are coming up in May, this is definitely not the case. But one of the things that I'm really excited about is the changes that have been made in regard to our weapons damage. A lot of the ships are going to be receiving some bonuses, particularly lasers and railguns. And I have to admit to my fellow captains, I am a huge railgun fan. I like the fact that on paper, railguns offer the highest damage as far as numbers. Now, in their application, because of tracking, distance, and the need to be able to maneuver the ship so that you have to minimize the trajectory differences between your ship and the enemy, this really does affect the damage. So potentially, for somebody starting out, your best bet may be to actually start with missiles or drones. These are weapon types that will hit a lot more consistent for the most part. Particularly missiles. Missiles never miss. However, there are different missile types and launchers. We'll get later into the details of that in another part of this starting out series that I hope to be able to provide the community of Eve Echoes. Now, with this test server, I really do want to showcase a wonderful change to railguns, and I can think of no better example as the classic Gallente battleship called the Megathron. And that is what this ship is here. This is just one of my favorite battleships, bar none. Now, with this ship, what it offers is kind of leans towards special type of fighting. Essentially, in the world of Eve Echoes, we have what's called brawlers, kiters, and somewhere in between. The brawlers are the type of ships that go in, get as close as possible, try to survive the massive damage, but due to the going in up and close, most of the ships that the enemy is going to present in front of you are going to target you. And their job is going to be trying to take you out. So you've got to either survive it by multiple tanking methods. When you're starting out, that'll be speed tanking most of the time, where you're trying to move as fast as possible so that the weapons that are trying to hit you cannot cannot track you. And also, when they do hit you, the damage is greatly reduced due to that speed difference between you and the enemy. Now, the other type is known as kiting. Kiting is where you're trying to stay away from the enemy as much as possible, hopefully beyond their effective range to hit you, while you have the capability to hit them. And there's also hybrid models that in a later series I'll be showing you. They'll be combining these two different techniques to either minimize the damage that you're doing to them, to damage to you, or to maximize the amount of damage you can do. And then basically you're able to then repair after the battle or between the waves. So with that said, let's take a closer look at this great ship. Now, this, like I said, I've just got to take this opportunity to actually showcase how this ship looks. This looks like your classic battleship from the movies and anime. And it's just absolutely amazing looking. Now, there's alternate skins that's available for the ship that really showcases it. I'm not going to go into great detail about that because in my tutorial series, I'll take a closer look at all these different ship types and the various models. But since this is the test server, I'm going to present a quick review and opportunity, hopefully, that you'll be able to take advantage of this weekend, of being able to start the game, get into it, and try out some of these fantastic ships and to get a feel for them. Unfortunately, my timing is a little late into being able to give you the information that will make it easier, but hopefully by the time that you get to the live server, which is where everyone will be, you'll be able to take these tactics and tips that throughout my series you'll be able to utilize and become a better prepared captain for the things that you're going to be encountering in the game. So we're going to just take a quick look at what this ship really is focused on. Basically, what we have is large railguns, and we're going to be, with the training that we received, we're going to be per level of the large railgun operation bonuses. We'll be receiving an additional 5% per level of the large railgun tracking speed, and we'll also be reducing 5% of the large railgun activation time. So these guns are going to be shooting faster and they're going to be tracking better. Also, it's got a minus 5% inertia modifier, which will allow us to turn better and faster for the based on the battleship command bonus per level. And this right here, this tells me this ship really needs to be a brawler. It really needs to get up and close. And the advantage of being a brawler is you'll be utilizing what's called snub nose railguns. These guns have a very limited range. They track better than their long range rifle gun counterparts, and so their DPS is also inherently higher than the long range railguns. So what type of damage are we looking at from this ship based on its current variation on the test server? Well, this is going to come as a little bit of a surprise. Right now, this ship will produce 1,737 DPS, along with the current drones, which I'm using 2 medium hammerheads, and with the drone skills that I have, this will also be providing 73 DPS. And we're going to just take a quick look at what those railguns are going to be focused on. They're going to be providing us with 428 thermal damage and 716 kinetic damage. So they're really going to do well against armor and hull, while also being able to provide us with a sufficient damage on those shields. Now, I chose hammerheads based to also provide thermal damage, be able to take out those shields easier, faster, more effectively. So that also, since we're going to be encountering any size ship from frigate up to battleships, I went ahead and chose the mediums. We could have used large. At the current way the game's set up, mediums just offers the best flexibility between both worlds of being able to take those frigates and destroyers out while still doing the damage that the additional damage we want to be applied against the battle cruisers and battleships. Now, this is a brawler, so with that massive DPS, I felt no need to add any lower mods to be able to provide us with additional DPS. So I focused on getting the ship up close, personal, up to the ships, with being able to minimize that damage that they're going to be applying to us. So I went ahead and put up into the lower slots these 3 adaptive invulnerability fields, and they're going to be providing us with the resistance to be able to get this ship up to the enemy and survive. That's the main purpose. I've also added an additional reactive shield hardener. Now, the reactive shield hardeners are very unique. They'll adjust themselves to the particular damage. Now, these are fantastic if we're going against Gallente and Amar ships, because they have a very particular focused damage type. They'll always either have railguns on the Gallente, or they'll always have lasers on the Amar. It's very rare to see these with missiles, and that's also the weakness of this particular hardener. This hardener will adapt itself to provide you with a better focused resistance against the enemy. However, missiles will negate that ability, and we'll just see these same numbers. However, since we're using a large number of reactive, this 17.29% resistance across the board still adds to that potential resistance. And what is our total resistance on that? It is absolutely fantastic, because we have an effective hit points of that 4,861. Even against Amar ships with that adaptive hardener, reactive hardener, we're going to be able to boost our EM and thermal resistance, even though those are our lowest values. So rather than getting into a complete breakdown of the ship, let's go ahead and see what this thing will do in a rare Tech 9 news mission. Now, this is what's either called a golden or yellow mission, and this is the last mission that we normally need in order to be able to collect the storyline for Angels and Devils. And this is the perfect opportunity to really showcase this ship. Now, the other opportunity would be to take it into Inquisitor or Scout anomalies, or to take this into Dead Space. However, with the limited time that we're provided on the test server, I thought this would be a great example to be able to showcase this in a nice little trial. So let's go ahead and get this started. And since we already have those hardeners running, we don't have to fire them up, because of course anytime we enter into a news missions, we'd always want to ensure that they're currently up and running. I want to go ahead and put this onto ships because that's the way I like to do it. And we're going to warp in now and see how this Megathron does in this rare news mission. And we have a pretty long warp in. Alright, we're going to go ahead and focus on this small. Go ahead and set that up. And we're going to go to orbit. And we still got some range. Now, on a second thought, let's go ahead, and this evidently is an Amar encounter, so we're going to go ahead, orbit that, bring these Webbers into effect, and as you can see, we're really not having any problems taking out these small ships. And with the large railguns, you'd normally be having some severe issues. Now I'm going to change my target, because usually the ships that tend to stay in the back are the ones that are working as logistic ships. These are support ships which make the enemy tankier, or actually heals them. So as you can see, we're even at a distance well beyond the optimal range of our railguns, and we're able to take that small ship out. Now, what we want to take a look at is the type of damage that we're doing. We want to see penetrating and smashing shots. So what I want to do, slow that ship down. See, we're grazing. Penetrates, smashes, penetrates, hits. I'm liking it. Yeah, this is doing great. Now, if you'll notice, even in that first wave, we've only lost a little bit of the shield, so I'm going to go ahead and tap that shield booster, bring our shields back up, and our cap is just looking fantastic. See, we only had 6 minutes, and we're already seeing that we have plenty of capacitor. Now we're doing hits, glances off, Now what we can do to help improve that is swing away and either approach directly towards or away from our enemy in order to be able to get some larger numbers hit. Yeah, there we go. That's looking better. All right, now what we're going to do is start approaching again towards the enemy and try to get these numbers looking higher again. And we're going to be able to effectively take that Typhoon out. Yeah, 6,400. Oh yeah, that looks great. Okay, now we've got 6 targets, and that's currently maximum number of targets that I can lock onto. Now this target painter is going to allow them to put a world of hurt on this ship, so it's going to be our primary target. I'm going to go ahead and turn that shield booster off, activate my afterburner. That target painter has been eliminated. Now our life is going to be a little easier. Now we've been webbed. So what we're going to do is return the favor on that particular target. We've already taken it out. Now what we're going to do is approach this ship. Look at that. We're at over 30 kilometers and we are taking things out. Just a fraction of the damage that this thing could do. And we are just obliterating the enemy so quickly. This is just an incredible ship. Look at that. Again, we need to keep approaching the enemy. Try to get as close as possible. Capacitor's looking good. I can even tap the shield booster to keep it up. Alright. Nope, not within web range yet. Our drones are working on that bellicose. And now we can go ahead and activate our webs. Now we're going to go ahead and take out this tornado. Go ahead and get this thing webbed. Now we're going to be lazy and try to orbit and see what this thing does. Alright, we're getting a smashing hit. Grays, that's our drones. Yeah, we did a hit. Hit 5,400. Oh, you gotta love those numbers. Now I'm going to go ahead and slow this thing down because the tracking up close is not that good. We're currently orbiting at about 8 kilometers to try to reach the very edge of our optimal. And this is just looking so nice. I'm really impressed. We're not having any issues, difficulties holding our shields. Capacitor's looking absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's just, this is just an amazing ship. I really like this. All right. Go ahead and switch to orbit. Okay. Yeah, for a penetrating shot, they did not look well. Those are lower numbers than I would have thought, but hey, this is just doing such a nice job. Our capacitor is at 66%. Oh, this is just absolutely amazing. I mean, Tech 9 battleships, battle cruisers, frigates, destroyers. This thing's just taking it out so easy. All right. There we go. 5,300. Look at that. 4,000 range. Nice. Let's go ahead and turn that shield booster off. And this is the last and supposedly the worst of it. So we're going to go ahead and take that target painter out first. And we're going to get that locked down. Go ahead and lock up some of the closest ships. Now, unfortunately, this is a battleship, so it takes a while to get these things locked down. We're going to use a trick to try to... Oh, yeah. In fact, focus fire. All right, let's go ahead and try to align ourselves. There we go. See, by being able to observe the ship, we can actually lock these ships down and get a parallel course with the ship to get our trajectory and minimize difference so that we can take these ships out faster. All right. Okay, let's take this bellicose out. Look at that. We're starting to get a little close, so we're going to turn around. There we go. Again, we're going to switch over some targets here. Observe. And again, we're going to use a little trick. It died too fast. Actually, we are going to take this Typhoon out. Get the big hitters taken out. Okay, we've got a Typhoon, 2 of them. Now, again, we've got a target painter on us. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Go ahead and approach it. Okay, line ourselves up. There we go. Very nice. Okay. Again, we're going to use the trick of trying to align ourselves up, be able to take this thing out more effectively. There we go. There again, we're a brawler. We expect to be able to soak up the damage. After this battleship goes down, will be looking a lot better. There we go. Look at that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and turn around. Shields are already coming up since we got that target painter taken off of us. Let's go ahead and approach. This other Typhoon. Okay, we're at 15 kilometers. Let's go ahead and slow him down. Oh yeah. Okay, let's line ourselves up, try to get our trajectory to match our enemy. Get those numbers looking better. There we go. Saw about 5,400 there. 4,000. Let's go ahead and switch to approach. Look at that. Shields are almost back up to maximum. And as you can see, even though we only had 6 minutes by the capacitor calculator on our fittings page, we are essentially cap stable. Only problem is we've just got to balance. Oh, that does not come out good for timing. Let's go ahead and get back in the game. Our shield booster's running. We've got nothing to worry about. We've just got to get back into the game. I am so sad to show this. This is the problems that folks that run emulators encounter. We seem to incur it more than running it on a tablet or phone. This is something that I would hope that NetEase would address. Alright, and let's see if we can get back into this game. Not the first way I wanted to show my first episode, but okay. I've got to start it again. Okay. And I'm using an emulator called Nox, N-O-X, and sadly this is not the most friendly emulator to get Eve Echoes to cooperate by getting back into the game quickly. For some reason it stalls after starting the game and refuses to run at that point. Now, hopefully this time this will allow us to get back into the game so we can finish this encounter. And it looks like we're getting back in. At least, yep. And look at that, we're at full shields. And we'll probably have 2 of the ships to finish off. And as soon as we warp back and finish this encounter, this will show how great this ship really is. Once again, got to warp in. Wee bit of a warp. Yeah. And did we finish off? Nope. We've got to finish off that one Typhoon before we finish off that Elite. Well, I see a target painter. That must be coming from the Elite itself. So, kind of surprised at that. Yep, that's coming from that Elite. Alright, let's get things going here. And look at that. We now just have this one Elite to finish off. And it's a pretty good distance away. So what I'm going to do is temporarily turn off my shield booster, activate my afterburner, and let's see if we can get this thing chased down. I'm going to go ahead and turn these guns off because rail guns do consume power unlike cannons and missiles. So if we need, we can always activate the shield booster as we make our approach. 42 kilometers, and as you can see, everything's still running. When the game disconnects, I've noticed that whatever state the ship was in, it stays at. Before in the game, theoretically, it warps off. So if you leave a shield booster running, that shield booster will hopefully keep you alive in order to allow you to continue the encounter. And brawler ships specialize in that. A kiter sometimes doesn't even have a shield booster or armor repair equipped. Now, as we're getting closer and closer to this Elite, it appears that he has a micro warp drive, and we're not going to be able to catch this ship. That's an interesting twist. Let's see if we can even touch it. Barely. Well, this is the downfall of the brawler. A great example of one of the problems that a brawler can encounter. And this is basically a bad situation that we're current because it's a standoff. That ship is not going to be able to destroy us. I mean, if I stop and just run the shield booster, it's not going to do anything against us. However, we cannot destroy this. So we would have to basically go and get another ship. Now, this is so funny to demonstrate this, but this does happen. And this is also something that PvPers take advantage of when they encounter a brawling ship like this. They can stay at range, and if they're set up correctly, they'll also use other tricks such as trying to eliminate the capacitor by using neutralizers, or particular faction ships that are specialized that will use Nosferatus that will be able to drain the ship's capacitor to zero completely. So with that said, I'm going to leave this encounter, and I'll finish this up with a Naga 2, but I'm going to end this particular video right now at this point. So thank you for watching, and we'll be continuing this series currently using ships on the test server to showcase the new changes that are begun in the balance update that's coming up in May on the live servers. Again, I am Major Tom 3D, and thank you for watching.